Hi, I'm Rob. This is Martin. We're here at the Malt Miller today to talk about the Muntons range of Craft Your Own malt extract.
What's different about this range is there's a set of tins and they're all specific malt extracts which would allow you to build your own recipe.
Although there's been malt extract that's different from pale, amber, dark, it's been quite difficult to get a hold of, and it's sometimes available in like quite large amounts. But these are specifically 1.5 kilo tins of malt extract, but they're also made from different grains. So you can get a Marisotta.
Yeah, specific Marisotta. You've also got a light, extra light, and a hot and a non-hot version within some of them as well.
I noticed also Vienna and a Munich and a sour as well. Putting various different tins together, we can get close to a recipe, an all grain recipe that we've got on the website, or even a commercial beer that we're looking to get close to.
Yeah, I think what you said there is like get close to an all grain. It actually, yeah, it is giving you almost that palette of different malts, but within a malt extract, so you can layer them together to create different beer styles.
What sort of information is available on the app?
So on the app, you can click, you want a certain beer style, say if you want a pale ale, you want an IPA, you want a lager, and then you can start telling it whether you want it malty, floral, citrusy, and it'll guide you through and give you a general idea of which tins you'd need to combine to create certain beer styles.
Where do these sit within the range of customers that we have? Some people have never brewed before, some people brew beer kits, all grain.
Well, I mean, if you go on a lot of the homebrew groups, you see people who are brewing kits,
Yep.
but they're also trying to pimp them up or make them slightly their own, customise them,
Sure.
adding extra hops, changing yeast. So I guess this is kind of building on that.
So Martin, how might I actually use these kits? Can we have an actual example of what to do?
Well, you can either take a look at our all-grain recipe kits and see the ingredients that are included in those.
Yep.
And you could say, right, okay, well, that ingredient is Marisotta
Yep.
in that recipe. So let's take the Marisotta tin and let's take some Munich if we want to add some colour in there. Or you could add some oats if you want to create a hazy boy. Start layering the ingredients in a similar way to they are in a recipe. Our recipe kits are a great way to start with. Or you could actually use a recipe book that we sell, something like Brewing Classic Styles.
Actually, Brewing Classic Styles is absolutely fantastic because a lot of the, even though it's a book that's dating back now, a lot of the malt extracts that were spoken about in there were really difficult to get hold of in the UK and Europe.
Yep.
So that book would actually become back relevant, a lot more relevant now.
Yeah, so you could go through there and find the beer that you want to brew using these tins. Then you can go on our recipe generator where all these tins are actually available. You can start adding the tins to your recipe. Then you can add your hops according to the recipe,
Yeah.
and get them actually weighed out exactly how you want and choose your yeast. Bingo, you've got your own extract recipe kit.
And of course, these don't come with yeast, so you've still got the massive choice of either dry or wet yeast that we have here.
Yeah.
So that will completely transform the beer into various different beer styles.
You could take a couple of these tins. You could use T58, make yourself a nice Belgian blonde.
Yeah.
You could make a classic English bitter,
Yeah.
a New England IPA, a West Coast IPA, all with these different tins and using the recipe generator.
What about hops then? Because some of these tins are hopped extract and some of them don't include any hops. Obviously, for a lot of the styles, we're going to be using dry hops heavily. What if we wanted to replicate hops in the boil? What are our feelings on where we can do that?
Well, I think what I would do is almost, you're going to be adding these to hot water. So I'm going to steep maybe some hops in the water before I start adding the extract,
Yeah.
or possibly adding like a final kind of like hop addition as I'm kind of adding the first tins of extract. So they're sitting there steeping whilst
Okay.
I'm adding more and more extract to it.
That's where part of the experimentation comes in.
It is, and you are going to have to make this your own way and kind of find what works best for you.
Well, actually, that's brilliant for a lot of our customers that don't have the access or space or want for all grain equipment, but they do want to experiment. So this is a really easy way of doing it where it doesn't need boiling, it doesn't need loads of equipment. Basically, if you've got the equipment at home to make a beer kit, you can make a beer using these.
Yeah, you just need a plastic bucket and a source of hot water, a kettle in the kitchen,
Yeah.
and off you go.
So let's take a look at some of our most popular all grain recipes on the website and see how we can use this range to best replicate those. Let's take a look at the Leffe clone first. What we got in the Leffe?
It's got a base malt in there, it's got some biscuit malt, it's got some wheat in there.
Yep.
It's using T58.
So it's massively about the yeast. The
yeast
a
is really
lot of
important.
the flavour comes from the yeast in that.
Candy rocks, 500 grams. And then I think it's hallertau that's it's hopped with.
Yeah, okay. So if we dissolve the candy rocks in an amount of liquid, it doesn't really matter how much because we're going to be making up the liquid afterwards. So as long as we can dissolve that in some water, which extract are we going to use?
Well, you're going to use a tin of the wheat.
A tin of the wheat. And the wheat, it's interesting actually, the wheat is not 100% wheat extract, is it? It's a wheat and barley mix.
Yeah, so, and then maybe Marisotto or light.
Yeah.
So you're keeping that colour low.
Or you could use the light hopped because we're going to need some.
Actually, that's a good idea. Use the light hopped, and then you're adding some bitterness in there from the tin as well. One of the ones that I really like on the site, and actually customers love, is Two Hearted.
Yeah.
So for me, that's a 7% IPA. On the Muntons site, they're going to class that as a dipper, so it's a 3-can kit.
3 cans, yeah.
It's got Marisotto in there, so I'd use a can of Marisotto.
Yeah.
I'd probably use a light hop as well because you want some bitterness.
Yeah.
And I'd consider Munich or Vienna because you want to replicate almost, although it's not got crystal malt in it, it's one of those classic American IPAs.
Yeah,
You've got to have that kind of golden colour to it.
What about the hop schedule on that?
Okay, so it's Centennial hops.
Yeah.
There's 2 kettle additions. They're about 34 grams, and I think it's 45 minutes and 30 minutes.
Okay, but that's going to be really difficult to replicate using this kit. Surely we're going to be using hopped extract.
Yes. So because we're using the hopped extract, and that's diluted across 3 tins then,
yeah.
I'm going to change it down to about 30 grams as a steep as we're adding the extract to replicate almost the Centennial flavour you achieve in the kettle.
Yeah.
Then the rest of it is 100 grams on the dry hop. So we're going to use a West Coast yeast, something like Bry 97 or USO5.
Yeah, just a nice, really clean West Coast yeast.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we should just crack on and have a go at brewing 2 of these and showing how simple it is to...
Nice. I quite fancy the Leffe myself.
Well, I'm going Two Hearted.
Your favourite?
Yeah, of course. Okay, so I've been for my trolley dash around the warehouse and picked up the extra ingredients I needed to do Two Hearted.
Yep. What you got?
I've got the hopped light,
Yeah.
Marisotto, and Munich. I've gone Munich because I want that colour, and I really like Munich as a malt in a beer.
I'd have gone Vienna, but you know, it's your beer. That's the nice thing about this, that you can do what you want.
Yeah. What about you, Rob? What you got?
Right. I've got the hopped light, and I've also got the wheat. So that's just the 2 tins that I'm going to use. But I've also got some candy rocks. So they'll go into the fermenter, kettle full of very hot water, so that I can dissolve those.
Yeah.
What do we do with the extract? Straight into...
Get them submerged in this warm water we've got, so that'll help soften up the extract in there. So then when we open the tins, straight into the bucket.
Okay, and we can also rinse them out with...
Rinse them out, yeah, and then top it up with cold water.
2.
Well, that's the thing. I'm going to kind of play mine a little by ear, get it up to 7% in terms of like the gravity I need to achieve.
Okay.
So you can adjust the volume again for what strength of beer you want.
Yeah, exactly. But we're aiming 20 litres.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
23 litres, something like that.
Litres.
Okay, what are you doing hops-wise?
I've got 30 grams of Centennial because I've ordered it through the recipe generator.
Yep.
So I can have that smaller pack. That's going to be steeped in a hop sock in boiling water whilst I wait for the tins to warm up.
Got it. Okay, that's actually quite clever.
And then,
although we did say about hops acting totally different in water than they do, but this is experimentation.
It's
this
a
is the great
thing.
thing.
Yeah, I'll take notes, and if I don't like certain parts of it when I drink it,
yeah,
I can come back, edit what I did, like reduce, increase, change the length of time. It's all adjustable.
Okay, we're very actually similar to what I'm doing. I would never normally dry hop this sort of style of beer, but it has very little hop character. But I'm just gonna get some hallertau, and I'm gonna dry hop that once fermentation is almost complete.
Okay, so let's get the tin steeping so they start warming up.
And actually, the warmer these tins are, the better. We just have to be really careful when we open them.
So we better get the kettle and get your sugar dissolving and get my hops steeping.
Yep, so we've already cleaned and sanitised these, so we're ready to go for that next stage.
So I've done a gravity reading. Two Hearted, if I wanted to hit it spot on, it'd be 1063.
Yeah.
I'm actually coming at 1058 because I've got in total 22.5 litres in here.
Yeah.
So if I'd have taken my reading a bit sooner, I could have probably dialed it back and done 21 litres and got closer.
Yeah.
But actually, really quite happy with a more drinkable beer because that's going to come out about 6% instead of 7%.
This is a great thing about brewing our own beer is we can attempt to make a clone of a beer, or we can adjust it so that it's got the inspiration of that, and it's the beer that actually we want to drink. I've done very similar, so I've got slightly lower gravity. 24 litres, absolutely perfect for me. So all that's left to do is to ferment these at the temperature suggested on the specific yeast packages that we've chosen. Let it ferment out, and then we can see you back here again when we're doing our taste test.
Fantastic, look forward to drinking this.
Nice. Okay, so by the magic of YouTube, it's 2 weeks later. We fermented the beer. What are we going to say about the fermentation?
So during my fermentation, I added a dry hop as it was coming towards the end of activity.
Yeah.
The bucket was literally left as a bucket, sitting on a heat mat.
Yeah.
So we kept it as basic as possible, no temperature control, because that's obviously a next step on to improve your kit brewing.
Sure, and that probably suited my style of, well, definitely suited my style of beer
Yeah.
rather than your style of beer.
With that Belgian yeast, it's
Exactly.
going to like all that warmth and. Yeah.
And it did, and it completely exploded out the fermenter, and yeah, so the fermentation was actually really vigorous. It fermented really quickly.
Mine was just pretty standard fermentation, didn't try to escape the bucket like yours.
One tip that I would say with brewing with extract only is the importance of getting that aeration into the wort before you pitch the yeast. Even more important with an extract brew to make that healthy fermentation.
So once the fermentation had finished, we did actually cold crash the bucket by putting it somewhere cooler than where we'd been fermenting it.
Yeah.
To try and drop out as much of the stuff as we could. And then we packaged some into bottles, and we've also packaged some into keg, so we can taste it today.
Okay, so we're ready to try it. Right, so let's start with the Leffe, which is the beer that I made. A couple of things to be said about this. It was actually kegged yesterday, so we're pouring it today, kegged yesterday. We did the forced carbonation by shaking the keg, and obviously it was only cold crashed for a couple of days as well. So this style of beer obviously would benefit from a longer cold crash and kind of a longer conditioning time as well.
If you read the reviews of the all grain kit, all of our customers say it just gets better with time.
Yeah, sure. But we can make a representation of that style of beer in a short, well, this is 2 weeks, so in a short period of time. But the one thing that will happen is the beer will get clearer and clearer as time goes on, because at the moment, although that colour is a good representation actually of the colour of a Belgian blonde,
The murkiness
obviously
probably isn't.
it's cloudy and it could have been not a crystal clear beer, but a clearer beer.
I have to say though, from just putting the glass near your face or just kind of it, you can smell it.
You can.
It smells tremendous.
It does. It's a very yeast-driven beer anyway, so I think that it's true to say I probably had the easier job than you as far as trying to make a representation of the style.
So actually, well, you probably chose a better beer that you can actually replicate easier because there's less things involved.
Yes, and like I say, because it's a very yeast-driven.
So that's something to think about actually if you're trying to do something with these Muntons kits, is to possibly think, right, what beer style is going to work well with this?
Yes, sure. It's massive. The aroma is really, it's really that yeasty, phenolic,
clovey spiciness. You can just kind of just all coming out of the glass.
But it's also got that malt sweetness as well. It's definitely there. I'm going in. Mouth feels really good.
Yeah, considering you put all that sugar in, it's not thin.
No, because you would put that sugar in on a all grain batch anyway.
Right.
You don't want it to be a really malt heavy beer, although it's at 6 or 7% or whatever. You don't want it to be. You don't want it to be thick, so it's got to be quaffable, drinkable beer. Actually, it's
really drinkable. I could quite happily spend the rest of the afternoon drinking this. Now, you'd be hard pushed to tell that this was a kit next to a grain version, I think.
At this stage, yes.
Yeah.
At this stage, I think another few weeks might be telling. But this is so. How long did it take? 10 minutes, quarter of an hour to make it from start to finish, and then we've got obviously the fettling with the fermentation process and the packaging. But you have that with any beer anyway. But it's not taken best part of a day to make it as an all grain beer.
It's great if you're like haven't got the time to do an all grain kit to actually do this. As
an all grain brewer, to be able to use an extract if you haven't got the time and occasionally, or a step up from a kit brew. I mean, that's as a step up from a standard beer kit. It's a big step up with no extra experience or skills needed.
Yeah, there's no extra complication over a normal kit.
No.
Wow, I'm really impressed with that.
I'm going to say that's a success.
So we better get the Two Hearted and give that a go.
Let's see how you did.
So Rob, this is the Two Hearted IPA West Coast style beer that I've kind of put together with the Muntons.
Sure.
What do you think? Let's look at the colour of it. And
Okay, it's obviously not drop clear, this beer. Now there might be a few reasons for that. It was only packaged yesterday, for goodness sake. So we can't expect it to drop clear straight away, and I suspect the clarity will get better over the next week or so. Clarity aside, colour is almost there. I think that if you'd used the Vienna,
slightly a little bit too red, kind of dark.
Yeah, I think it is a little bit dark.
But we can go back and treat that, and we can change it slightly.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
but if you look at it, it's got a nice little head on it. It kind
has
of
got a head.
holds.
Yeah, and that's actually climbing the glasses. That's actually really nice. What about the aroma? Well, I can definitely tell that's a dry hop beer. That Centennial's really jumping out the glass, which is really nice.
You can also, it's got that kind of caramelly smell to it as well from the Munich extract, I think.
Yeah, sure. Let's go in. It's definitely an IPA.
Yeah, it's nice. It's clean. It's clean in terms of a yeast flavour.
Possibly tell that it was a slightly high fermentation temperature. It's got
I think that's probably
it might have
a little bit
something about it.
We know that if you control the temperature and you manage it with a fermentation fridge, it becomes better.
As a quaffing drink.
As a beer, it's like, and this is a little bit lower in ABV than Two Hearted is because I put more water in than I actually should have.
Sure.
But for 6% IPA,
this is carbonated much nicer there as well. This is at the right level.
If this was one of my first kit brews, I would not be disappointed drinking this.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely. Yeah.
Or if I was an all grain brewer and I hadn't got the time to actually brew, and I did this would kind of hit the spot.
I think as an experiment, it's worked really well.
Yeah, cheers.
So the whole basis of this experiment was to use the Muntons Craft Your Own series, the different extracts that they produce, to try to recreate some well-known beers, or at least make a representation of those styles. How do you think that the experiment has turned out?
I'm really pleased with the results. I think it's shown us that there is another way to actually get into kit brewing. You're not tied down to one particular beer or beer style, and have some of the creativity that an all-grain brewer has.
I can't believe the quality of the extract.
The extract's really good.
I can't believe the quality of the extract, because that extract sort of twang, it's a totally different type of beer to kits of old. This is a really exciting development in the kit brewing malt extract world. It's been fantastic.
I mean, I can't stop looking at the beers and then kind of drinking them because they are just really, really good beers.
Yeah, and for a homebrewer that's not got the space for all grain, or not got the time for all grain, or an all grain brewer who, heck, I haven't got time to put a brew on. 15 minutes preparation and then the fettling, obviously through the fermentation process and the packaging. This is a really good opportunity to get a beer on.
I mean, for me, one of the most exciting things about homebrewing is working out and planning your recipes.
Yep.
And my head's kind of going, well, I want to do this with that beer now. I want to swap this for this extract, or I want to do a different hop, or I want to change. It gives you that whole world you can do that you normally only get with all grain.
Hopefully this has inspired you to take a look at the Muntons Craft Your Own series of beer extract kits. And of course, these are available in our recipe generator. So you can actually mix and match the different tins, hopped, unhopped, whatever you like, to create a recipe, along with the hops that are weighed out to the gram.
And select your own yeast.
And the yeast as well.
And then save it on your account. So next time you want to brew it, you can come back, just click the button, order the same kit, or tweak it, and change it slightly.
Perfect for experimentation.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the bell for notifications.
And of course, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.